Welcome back guys to the channel. The wait is nearly over. Here is my Afcon 2019 tournament preview and predictions. It's going to be a long one, so strap yourself in for the ride. So, the tournament being hosted in Egypt once again, kicking off on the 21st of June until July 19th. 6 groups being played in the summer, both for the first time ever, and VAR from the quarterfinals onwards by CAF. Let's delve into these groups and work out who's going to go through from each one. Now, the top 2 from each group will go through to the last 16, and the top 4 third place sides will make it to the second round of Afcon for the first time ever. So, lots of ways you can go through, and it does give some meaning to the third group game, which usually meant nothing if you'd already lost your first 2 matches, basically. So, let's kick it off with looking at Group A. In Group A, we've got the holders Egypt, we've got DR Congo, we've got Uganda, and we've got Zimbabwe. Now, first of all, the host Egypt. For me, my favourites, they're at home. We know how much referees are influenced in African football. Very hard to give big decisions away from the hosts. You look at the likes of Equatorial Guinea when they were at home and they made the semi-finals, and particularly in Egypt, it's almost impossible to win against them. So for me, Egypt are the big favourites, and you've got to say they've got the best player in Africa right now in Mohamed Salah. So very difficult to look past Egypt as favourites for me. So comfortably they're going to be winning Group A. And in second place, and not too far behind them, are a quality side in DR Congo. DR Congo always there or thereabouts in the Afcon knockout stages, and they've got some top players. They've got the likes of Yannick Bolasie in their side. They've got Masuaku from my team, West Ham. So I think DR Congo are going to be in second position. But you look throughout this group, there is some quality in every side. You look at Zimbabwe with Biliat in their side, with Musona, top players. You look at Uganda with Onyango, for me, the best goalkeeper on the continent, and Farouk Mir up front. So it's not going to be as straightforward and as one-sided as people think. You saw 2 years ago, Zimbabwe almost beat Algeria in the group stage. So anything can happen in these tournaments. You've got to respect all the oppositions. But for me personally, I'm going to say Egypt are going to come first, and DR Congo are going to come second, and I think Zimbabwe will come third. But Zimbabweans, I think that will also mean you will still advance to the next round as a third place side. So Zimbabwe in third place for me, and Uganda in fourth from Group A. Group B, and it's got the big hitters Nigeria, a stalwart of African football, and a couple of Afcons recently where Nigeria didn't even qualify, so it's great to see them back involved. They won the tournament, of course, not too long ago, and they're going to be joined by Guinea, where Naby Keita could make it, could not make it, let's find out. But I still think, again, Nigeria should be relatively easy in this group, and I tip a Nigerian striker, maybe a Igalo, because there's no Iheanacho at this tournament, maybe Iwobi to get a lot of goals against Burundi and Madagascar with respect. But Burundi, for me, could be a little bit of dark horses, but surely in this group we're going to have Nigeria coming in first position, and Guinea, who had a very good qualifying campaign, are going to finish in second position. They've got some top players in their side as well. And in third place, I think it's going to be Burundi. And again, I think Burundi can come third and be one of those third place teams, because I think Burundi will beat Madagascar. So I'm going to say Burundi will come third and Madagascar will come in last place. Sorry, Melbourne and Gloria. Group C, of course, my favourite group. It's Algeria's group, and it's going to be tough. We've been handed quite a tough group with Senegal. Senegal, for me, the second favourite. It's very close to being top favourites with Egypt. And you look at their team, Mane, Koulibaly, it's got quality, strength to strength, it's getting better. They were very unlucky at the last World Cup not to go through. They got 4 points, I believe, and still didn't go through. So I think Senegal are going to win this group in Group C, and I think Algeria are going to come second. I'm just being honest, not even being biased. I think we're going to come second in our group. I'd love to come first. If we come third, we're going to have big problems going forward in the knockout stages. But I think Algeria in second. I think Kenya in third place. I think Wanyama's going to be a very good midfielder for them. And once again, Kenya could go through as a third place side. And unfortunately for Tanzania, they're going to be the whipping boys of this group, and they're going to be coming in last place. I remember the last time Algeria played Tanzania, we beat them 7-0 and 4-0. So lots of goals in this group, hopefully. But that's how I see Group C panning out. But again, a great achievement for the likes of Tanzania to qualify for the Afcon. Group D, and many people's group of death, with Morocco, with Ivory Coast, with South Africa, and with Namibia. Now, I think it's fair to say we can put Namibia with respect in last place. Again, well done for getting here, Namibia, but you've been handed a tough task to get out of this one. So Namibia in 4th position, and the other 3, you really could put them in any order. This is a really wide open group, and I'm sorry, but I'm not convinced by the Moroccans. I think they've got a really good manager, probably the best manager at the Afcon in Hervé Renard. Won it with Zambia, won it with Ivory Coast, came up short with Morocco at the last Afcon, got knocked out by Egypt. So for me, Morocco haven't got enough, and I think Morocco are going to be in 2nd, and I think Ivory Coast, with Pepe on one wing and Zaha on the other wing, Ivory Coast will be winning Group D, which means South Africa will come in 3rd place, but again, could go through in 3rd place. I think they will, because of course I think South Africa can beat Namibia. So I can see South Africa, despite being in 3rd place, going through as well. Group E, another North African team in Tunisia. We've got Mali in there, we've got Angola, and we've got Mauritania. Now Mali looked good in qualifying. Tunisia lost in a friendly to Algeria, of course, not too long ago. Mauritania in there for the first time. Angola back, one of the older nations of African football. Hosted Afcon, of course, not too long ago as well. I think Mali can win this one. I've got Mali to come 1st. I've got Tunisia to come 2nd. I've got Angola to come 3rd. And I've got Mauritania to come 4th. Angola with a lot of Portuguese-based players in their group. But my predictions are that Angola will come in 3rd and Mauritania will come in 4th. Group F, and some big hitters in there, including Ghana, always there at the end of the tournament. Cameroon with Seydorf, the current holders, of course. You've got Benin and you've got Guinea-Bissau. Well done once again to Guinea-Bissau. We remember they lit up the tournament in Gabon 2 years ago, but I'm going to put Guinea-Bissau straight into last position, I'm afraid. My Guinea-Bissau friends, you haven't got enough quality to really trouble Ghana or Cameroon. I'm also going to put Benin in 3rd position, and I think the 1 and 2 between Cameroon and Ghana will be quite close. But I'm going to go for Cameroon in 2nd place and the Black Stars of Ghana to win Group F. So that is my group predictions. Let me know in the comments if you agree with who I've got going through in each group. Let's move on to the knockout stages. Right, so having done my group predictions, let's look at how the last 16 looks at Afcon with my group placements. The first last 16 game would actually have Algeria in the match. So as soon as the group stage is over, if Algeria comes 2nd as I've put them, they will be the first game of the last 16, and they'll have a tough last 16 game against DR Congo. But I believe Algeria will have enough to beat DR Congo, and maybe, yes, I'm a little bit biased, but this has got to be our time. We've got Mahrez, we've got Atan, we've got Boulaja, we've got Andy Delors. So I'm going to say that Algeria will beat DR Congo in the first last 16 game. The second game, Ivory Coast against Burundi. Well, that's a lot easier to predict, I'm afraid. And with respect, Burundi have great job qualifying. And even if they make the last 16, they should be so proud of themselves. So for me, though, Ivory Coast are going to be the ones that advance from that second game. The third last 16 game, Nigeria, South Africa. 2 huge nations in African football, both at the 2010 World Cup. For me, Nigeria are going to have too much quality for South Africa, too much experience for South Africa. So Nigeria to beat South Africa in the third last 16 game. Ghana, Tunisia, that would be a fantastic last 16 game. Ghana, Tunisia, the 4th last 16 game from how I predicted it. And I think the Black Stars of Ghana will beat Tunisia. I think it's a very tough draw for Tunisia to have. A very unfortunate way it's panned out. So that's the top half of the last 16. The bottom half of the last 16, Mali, Morocco. I'll be honest, guys, Mali should probably lose to Morocco. I think Morocco got a great manager, as I said, and I think Morocco will beat Mali in the last 16. So I put Morocco into the quarterfinals. Senegal, Zimbabwe. Tough for Zimbabwe to go up against one of the hot favourites. So Senegal to beat Zimbabwe for me in the last 16. Guinea, Cameroon. Again, West African sides. I think Cameroon and Guinea are very close, a lot closer to each other than people think. Cameroon, the holders, more experience for me. Cameroon to beat Guinea. Now the final last 16 game, right? And of course, the way CAF does it, they give the hosts a nice ride. Egypt, Kenya. Can Kenya disrupt Egypt in Cairo? No, guys. And surely some Kenyans have got to be believing that even that's not possible, guys. If anyone that plays Egypt is going to have a tough game. So Egypt, Kenya, Egypt to win. Let's look at how the quarterfinals look. So once again, the first quarterfinal would involve Algeria. Not much waiting for us. I don't know if people prefer to play first or to play last. Personally, I like to play last because it means we stay in the tournament for longer, but that's just me. Algeria, Ivory Coast, quarterfinal. We've been here before. We had it 2010, Algeria, Ivory Coast quarterfinal. We beat them in extra time. Guys, I've got to say we're going to beat Ivory. I can't, you know, turn my back on my boys here. Algeria to beat Ivory Coast in the quarterfinals once again. Come on, Algeria into the semi-finals. Nigeria, Ghana, the jollof rice derby. That's a tough one to call, guys. Now it's getting very, very tough. Some very good games here, some very exciting African football matches. Nigeria to beat Ghana for me. I've got Nigeria going through to the semi-finals. Morocco, Senegal. Senegal, a tough, tough opponent for Morocco. Quarterfinals is, I think, where the line ends for Morocco. Senegal to beat them and to make the semis. And Cameroon, Egypt. A repeat of the final in 2017. Egypt are going to get their revenge. Again, they're at home. I think Egypt will beat Cameroon and Egypt will also be through to the semi-finals, which leaves us with our two semi-finals. So, again, Algeria, the first semi-final. They'd play Nigeria in the semi-final, and probably our luck is going to run out. We always struggle against Nigeria, although in the 1990 Afcon, we beat Nigeria twice, including in the final, to win it. So let's see what happens. But I've got to be a bit subjective, a bit objective, and Nigeria will make the final of Afcon. And they'll play Egypt or Senegal, the two favourites for most people here, or the people that see African football properly. Really tough game to call. Really, really tough game to call, Egypt, Senegal. I've been thinking about it. I can't call that semi-final. I think it would have been better if that was a final. I'm going to go Senegal. It could literally go either way. I'm going to go Senegal, which sets us up for the Senegal-Nigeria, the 2019 Afcon final, and Senegal are my champions. So, predictions are Senegal are to win the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. Comments below, please, on what you thought about my knockout stages predictions, and it is how the tournament is set out. These are not guesses, these are structured, and how each team would progress should they come where I've put them in their groups. So I've got Senegal winning Afcon 2019. Right, now, finally, let's look at some individual predictions. Let's start off with the top scorer of Afcon 2019. Now, if I've got Senegal to win it, then I'm going to have to go for a Senegal player to be the top scorer. And naturally, I would say Sadio Mane will be the Golden Boot winner for Afcon 2019. Of course, the more games you play, the more chance you've got of winning the Afcon. And if Senegal reach the final, they've got the biggest opportunity of winning the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. So Senegal, for me, are going to have Sadio Mane, as well as winning the trophy, as the top scorer. But also, guys, the way I did the tournament, the third place playoff would be Algeria-Egypt in Egypt. Would be absolute fireworks. And as much as I love Algeria, I find it very much impossible to beat Egypt in Egypt. We lost 2-0 there for the South Africa World Cup. So, unfortunately, I think we're going to lose to Egypt, not because they're better than us, because they're going to probably cheat, right? So, I'm going to say Egypt are going to be the third place team of Afcon 2019, which you have to say, considering they're at home, a big disappointment for Egypt if they don't come out with a trophy, because they're usually at least in the final when they're taking it seriously. Underdogs, got to be Burundi for me. I think people are sleeping on Burundi. I've watched their striker Razak Fiston in the Algerian League for Juska. He can bang in the goals. He's a big reason why they qualified. They've got Big Iramana in midfield, who's played in English football. They've got Berahino, who almost played for the England national team. I think Burundi are going to surprise people. And I think they're going to beat Madagascar. And I think they're going to be in the last 16. For me, Burundi could be the real surprise package of this tournament. And this Burundi side, do not ignore them. We saw them in a friendly with Algeria, a 1-1 draw. Got to respect everyone, guys, in this Africa Cup of Nations. So you've got to respect every team that's in this tournament. Finally, player of the tournament. Now, again, if Senegal reach the final, you want to pick a Senegal player. If you pick Sadio Mane, is he going to be the top scorer, but also the player of the tournament? I don't know. I think if Senegal, again, win it, and Mane scores a lot of goals, they need a good defence as well. They need a good defence. People say to me, and I think it's quite a good phrase, you know, strikers win football matches, defences win tournaments. So I'm going to go for Koulibaly, the Napoli defender, to be player of the tournament. A big shock to many. Of course, it can all be different. If Salah scores a lot of goals, Egypt win it, Salah will play the tournament. I'm going to say that Kalidou Koulibaly will be the player of Afcon 2019. And that concludes my tournament preview, guys. The tournament is just around the corner. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm going to be watching every game. I'm going to be watching these Madagascar boys, even though I can't say their names. I'm going to love it. Let me know your predictions down below. Winners, top scorer, player of the tournament, down below, guys. Let's get involved. Let's get together for the Afcon. Come around the corner. I'm pumped. Subscribe for more.